Hello and welcome to my latest video. This video features the big punching Irish fighter, the heavyweight from the 1899-10 era, Peter Maher. So we will go through his main opponents and many of his career statistics. So when we look at the first slide covering his major opponents, Peter Maher fought Peter Jackson, the Australian heavyweight, suffering a defeat. He also twice fought and lost, to fellow big puncher from that same period, Bob Fitzsimmons. Peter Maher losing twice. He did though defeat George Old Chocolate Godfrey in their one fight, and he also defeated former coloured middleweight champion Frank Craig. Next up, another former coloured middleweight champion, Joe Butler. Peter Maher fought and beat Joe Butler twice, and he also twice defeated former coloured heavyweight champion C.C. Smith. So one credit we have to give Peter Maher initially is that he fought many of the great black fighters from his time, Peter Jackson and Old Chocolate Godfrey and Craig and Butler and C.C. Smith. Many fighters at that time wouldn't fight many black fighters, but Peter Maher did, so big credit to him for that. Big shout out to Martin in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. So next on the list, following C.C. Smith, 2 wins against him, is actually the great Philadelphia Jack O'Brien. Now, Peter Maher lost both times to Jack O'Brien, and he also lost to former light heavyweight champion George Gardner, before also then losing to former heavyweight champion Marvin Hart. Next up was Joe Choinski. Maher fought him in a trilogy, winning one of them and losing two. He also fought to a draw against tough and fellow hard puncher Tom Sharkey. Next up was the excellent Charles Kid McCoy, one of the most dangerous contenders of his time. Peter Maher lost both fights to Kid McCoy. He did fight also another trilogy with Joe Goddard, another big puncher. And one thing when you look back at this time, people don't realise that even McCoy and Sharkey and Goddard and so many other fighters, there were so many big punchers around at that time, and often they'd fight each other, but yeah, there's a lot of really good punchers from that time, who often go quite underrated. So anyway, Joe Goddard, Peter Maher won one and lost two. He also defeated heavyweight contender Frank Slavin, and also defeated contender Jim Daly. Now when we go on to, his second slide, another big puncher, albeit a more vulnerable big puncher than some, Nick Burley, the fighter who fought from middleweight to heavyweight. Peter Maher defeated him, and he fought 4-fight series with tough heavyweight contender Gus Rulin, one of the best heavyweight contenders of that time. Highly rated, and Peter Maher scored 1 win with 1 loss and 2 draws against Rulin. He also fought to a draw against Jim Hall. Next up is Jack Bonner. Peter Maher defeated him, and then he also defeated Ike Hayes in their one fight together, and he scored 5 wins. One of his rivals in terms of fight series was Steve O'Donnell. Peter Maher fought him on 5 occasions, winning all 5 times. He also defeated Charlie Stevenson and Klondike Haynes, both in singular fights. Next up is Jim Jeffords. Peter Maher fought Jim Jeffords 5 times, winning 4 and losing 1, and he fought and lost 2. Contender Kid Carter, before also getting 2 wins over Morris Harris. And the final name on is actually quite good resume. He doesn't have a weak resume, Peter Maher. He's one of those fighters from that time who many people will look at many of the fighters on there, and when you look at the fighters on there, not even counting, you've got the McCoys and the Choinskis and the Fitzsimmonses, and fighters of that nature. You've also got tough contenders like Slavin, Rulin, Sharkey. You've got a lot of big punchers in there. You've got many of the black fighters of the time who held titles from middleweight to heavyweight, from Craig and Butler, C.C. Smith, Peter Jackson, George Godfrey. So yeah, he actually has a better resume than many people would give him credit for. The final name on here to close out this quite tough resume is actually the ghost of Joplin, Jeff Clark, who Peter Maher fought on 3 occasions, losing all 3 fights. So all in all there, I've highlighted 50 fights there, Peter Maher won 27 of those, with 19 losses and 4 draws from those 50 fights. So when we look at some basic stats, okay, Peter Maher scored a massive 104 KOs. He's in the 100 plus KO club, and he scored a staggering number of KOs in 3 rounds or less. What is not too shy of 100 at 91. He scored 91 knockouts in 3 rounds or less. They weren't always the greatest opponents. Some of them were good opponents, but still knocking them out time after time, requires a consistency. Now, in terms of first round KOs, that again is a staggering number. 49 first round knockouts. That's an incredible number. So Peter Maher scored 4 KOs against champions. He scored 1 KO against Hall of Famers and 4 KOs against pound for pound rated fighters. Of course, as a pre-rating era fighter, Peter Maher scored no KOs against rated fighters. And when we go to rounds boxed, okay, Peter Maher fought a total of 488 rounds. He didn't fight 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000 like many fighters with careers his size. Obviously, being a big puncher, scoring lots of knockouts, he has a low round total for his career size. He fought 0 title fight rounds. Maher did fight 53 rounds against champions, 55 against Hall of Famers, and 80 rounds against pound pounders. And of course, pre-rating era fighter, long retired by the time ratings came around, so he has fought no rounds against top 10 fighters, top 3 fighters, or ring champions. So when we go on to our next slide featuring the champions, Peter Maher had a record of 13 fights against champions. That includes 6 wins, 7 losses and no draws. He defeated 4 individual champions. Okay, they were George Godfrey, Frank Craig, Joe Butler and C.C. Smith. And he scored knockouts or stoppages over all of them. Okay, George Godfrey, Frank Craig, Joe Butler, C.C. Smith. So Peter Maher can say every champion he gained a win over, he also stopped. Yeah, big shout out to everyone in the chat, by the way. So yeah, impressive, kind of showing that power. And when we go to Hall of Famers, Maher had less fights against Hall of Famers, with a total of 11 fights. He only scored 1 win with 9 losses and 1 draw. He defeated 1 Hall of Famer, that was the excellent Joe Choyinski, of course, who held a win over Jack Johnson, as well as many other good wins, as you'll see when we get to him at light heavyweight. And Peter Maher also stopped Choyinski inside the distance. And when we go on to the final of the more niche opponent slides, okay, pound for pounders, this is Maher's biggest tally, 18 fights in total, including 4 wins, 13 losses and 1 draw. And he defeated 4 individual pound for pound fighters in my all-time rankings. They were Frank Craig, Joe Choyinski, Frank Slavin and Joe Goddard. Now Peter Maher, not surprisingly, scored knockouts or stoppages over all the pound for pounders. He held wins over Frank Craig, Joe Choyinski, Frank Slavin and Joe Goddard. So Peter Maher, basically, every win he has against a champion, Hall of Famer and pound for pounder, I'm not saying every win was a knockout, but every champion, Hall of Famer and pound for pounder Peter Maher fought, he has stopped them. Okay, he has stoppage wins over them. So that is very impressive and very unique even amongst big punchers, because even some of the biggest punchers in boxing history don't knock out or stop every Hall of Famer champion and pound for pounder they have fought. So yeah, his power is undeniable. So on to our next slide. Okay, we go to record against rated fighters. Now Peter Maher obviously was never fighting in the rating era, so he has 0 fights against top 10 fighters, top 3 fighters, ring champions. He has also defeated no rated fighters individually or knocked out no rated fighters. Of course, rating era, that's when them stats will come more to the fore, although some fighters who cross over from non-rating era to rating era will also score some in those categories, albeit more limited numbers on what they would have had. So on to the next slide, title fight slide. Peter Maher never fought for a world title, so he has 0 title fights, 0 title record with no defences and no KOs, no wins against top 10 fighters, top 3 fighters, ring champions or champions, Hall of Famers, pound for pounders. So essentially when we go on to the final slide, the world titles won. It still feels a bit weird trimming the 3 or 4 slides off that I were doing on the other ones. But I'm going to stick to what I'm doing. I've got a minimum of 1,000 to do across all the periods up to modern times. So yeah, I've got plenty of work to be getting on with. I am missing those other slides though, you know, because the percentages and the pound for pound stats and everything. But I'm sticking to what I'm doing. So even though it gnaws at me a bit. People know what I'm like. I'm a bit obsessive about going overboard. But you know, this new format is nice and easy for me. So I'll quickly catch up to where I was. 172 videos I had done, so that's my initial target. So anyway, world titles won. Peter Maher won no world titles, therefore was never lineal champion nor undisputed champion. But Peter Maher is the latest heavyweight. Soon I will start mixing in some other divisions in this period. You know, as I look to rebuild my playlist. I'm also still, I've got another one ready today, another video ready today for me 2025 top 1,000 boxers of all time, because my other top 1,000s on my other channel, as it was pointed out, had also gone. So my channel has top 1,000 countdowns on, so I do need to do one this year. But I'm going to get most of videos ready before I start it. You know, everything now is about using my time, and I want to get it done, but it's going to get done so I'm not, you know, overworking myself half to death, if you get me, while I'm doing everything else as well. So I'm getting them ready. I've got nearly 10. I've got nearly first 100 fighters ready, and every day I'm getting a video ready for that. So before long, probably by late summer, early autumn, I'll be ready to do that in build up to Christmas. So there's my latest video. So to everyone in the chat, please take care. More videos coming over coming weeks, months and years to come as I look to hit my 1,000 career videos. But anyway, I will catch you on future videos. All I would like to say as I end is I hope everyone is well. Please look after yourselves, be safe, be well, and I'll see you again. I'm the Boxing Librarian, and I am out for now.